Croeso all, welcome back to day 2 here of the FleetEV National League's finals weekend. Well, what a match we had to start between City Flames and West Wales Phoenix. Flames taking their first win of the competition and very well deserved. Game 2 is ahead of us, Northwest Fury versus Southeast Blaze. We are running ahead of schedule this morning, so we are very happy to be able to watch these girls warm up and take to the court to the music that's playing around the arena. We are excited to see what the day brings us. I am Elaine Roberts, and joining me is Natalie Pepperell. After all the excitement we had yesterday, did you manage to get some rest, take it all in, ready for today?
You know what, I was quite sleepy this morning, and this morning I was like, I really hope that the first game is super exciting, and it was. So who needs coffee when you've got City Flames versus West Wales Phoenix?
Who needs an adrenaline kick or a caffeine kick when you've got that to watch in front of you? Well, we are super excited to watch these girls play. Well, we didn't quite manage to catch you up on all the action before the first match this morning, so just to catch you up on all the information we have 8 teams competing for those all-important final placing positions today. After 3 all-important competitions days, we started in Bangor way back in May. We had Ebbw competition day in June just last month, and this is finals day 2 for these girls competing in Cardiff House of Sport. They are the best talent that we've got in Wales who are not part of the essential criteria, who are not Wales Feathers players, any senior Dragons or any part of the Cardiff Dragons pathway or player or training partners, any other National Super League squads or National Netball Performance League squads or any other squads external to Wales, national squads external to Wales. We do have some previous Welsh Feathers taking the court, as is their right, to carry on playing netball in the best performance that they can. So you will see and hear some names on the court showing their talent and skills. We have a wonderful crowd joined us here in the House of Sport. This year we have been excited to have the addition of 2 new teams, Power Sparks and Coastal Heat, and they have showed us what they're made of, haven't they?
Oh my goodness, I was really excited to see them play, and they did not disappoint. Both games that they played in yesterday were superb. Power Sparks had us on the edge of our seat, and then Coastal Heat, it was amazing, wasn't it? Because they made loads of changes. I thought maybe it was crazy because they made 5 changes all at once, and my goodness, did it pay off.
Oh, Power Sparks have to be the most versatile team in this competition. Every player can play every position on that court and play it well. And the depth in their bench, as well as every team in this competition, the benches that we've seen players come onto the court and make such an impact when they come onto the court.
Yeah, and it's really nice to see that the coaches have the faith in the players as well. And as you were saying, alluding to the opportunity for the players, it's fabulous to see so many opportunities for coaches as well to be coaching at this level. And some brave decisions at times, but actually some really good decisions made.
Definitely. So coaches obviously sign up and ask to be coaching these teams. So if that's something that you at home want to do next year, sign up to become part of the coaching teams for your local area, for your area of Wales. If you feel like you want to join us next year for the National League teams, we have coaches, assistant coaches, team managers, even teams bringing their own primary carers. There's some doctors on benches. We have a doctor that's joined for, I believe Ellie Wyatt is a doctor for Northwest Fury. We have a doctor for other teams. We have physios. We have so many primary carers on benches, which is lovely to see.
Yeah, and performance analysts. I believe one team have a performance analyst, so lots of opportunities.
Definitely opportunities indeed. Well, taking control of this game, our fabulous umpires, part of the umpiring teams. We have got Rhiannydd Reynolds in the white, not holding the ball at the moment, and Jo Williams is also joining her. Both very competent and experienced umpires, umpiring very high levels here in the south of Wales. We have seen them umpiring many of the games here in National Leagues. We have a wonderful team of umpires with us throughout the competition. We have A, B, C umpires really showing their talent.
Yeah, and the amount of court sprints they've got to do over a day is very impressive.
I don't think I want bloody umpires, these teams, because they are very athletic. So credit to our umpires. So as Southeast Blaze in the reds take on that first centre pass, let's see what this game brings us. The starting 7 for Southeast Blaze. We have got Charlotte Lewis in goal shooter, Abigail Meredith in goal attack, Rebecca Baker, captain and coach in wing attack. Charlotte Scarborough in that centre position. Wing defence, Eloise Spacey. Goal defence, Brooke Collette. And Katie Rees in goal shooter. Goal shooter now taking the ball in the green for Fury as she puts up the shot. Gwenanne Williams. In goal attack, Ellen Barwick. Wing attack, Lucy McEwen. Captain Lucy Leonard in the middle and the centre position. Lily Doodson in wing defence. Steph Oliver-Smith in goal defence. And Steffi Stutt in goalkeeper.
Already a really evenly matched game here, 1v1. And it's interesting to see Steffi Stutt back in that goalkeeper position today, because we've seen it quite regularly at goal defence. But I think that just goes to show the threat that is Charlotte Lewis in that goal shooter position for South East Blaze.
We definitely have seen her as a threat already this competition, especially partnering up with Meredith. But what a ball in from Lucy Leonard, straight into Williams. That ball didn't even touch the net going through that goal.
Yeah, Gwenanne Williams has been superb this whole competition.
Brooke Collette finds Baker. Now Meredith will find the goal.
She's a lovely mid-range shooter.
Oh, Brooke Collette. Lovely tip for that, but couldn't quite find the ball.
Great closing speed, isn't it, that she's got?
Lucy McEwen plucks it from the air. Williams again. She's become a pivotal player for Fury, hasn't she, Gwenanne Williams?
She has. She's so calm and collected, but we were talking yesterday, weren't we? She's got so many tools in her toolkit. She can hold front, back, she can roll, she can pluck the ball out of the air, she can pluck it from one side.
And on the opposite side of the court, Charlotte Lewis draws, thought it was contact, but it was off court. She landed on the court with the ball, hadn't grounded her feet.
Great width.
Williams collects that ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was for Williams, but she did a good job of making the pass look like a decent pass.
Lovely swing. Barwick looking to screen with Williams, but couldn't stay onside. Lucy McEwen.
It's great work by the defence of South East Blaze to bring this ball up. Oh, contact call. Northwest Fury bench is so loud. They are really encouraging their team when they're not on the ball, and when they are on the ball, they're nice and calm.
Bringing that momentum to their team. Well, we know the partnership of Stutt and Oliver Smith can really bring something special to this defensive circle, but no challenge there for Lewis.
Stutt gets a hand to the rebound, but knocked it off. Don't really want to try to give them any more opportunities. They need to try and stay really disciplined in that circle.
And there is Lewis putting that ball in. Very neck and neck here at the moment. 4 goals, plays 3. Lovely width from Fury this morning, really utilising all the space on the court.
Yeah, the keeper just needs a head up for Blaze. Katie Rees at the back. She could have flown on that ball to the centre, but that's credit to Gwenanne Williams and the work that she's doing. She's really focusing Rees's attention.
Well, South East Blaze really moving this ball around now.
Lovely front sweep from Meredith.
And Meredith, another one of those long-range shooters we have in this competition, has found the net wonderfully. Gwenanne Williams, 2-on-1, still takes the ball and pops to Barwick.
Great little cheeky pop pass.
Barwick yesterday was a great contender, wasn't she? She was moving around, creating space, running wonderfully around Williams.
Yeah, and again, those long shots that she takes as well.
But
better
movement.
timing there as well from Lewis, just taking Stutt out the equation.
Lucy McEwen called for breaking. The calibre of netball from these two teams today. Everyone's come back raring and ready to go after a heavy day yesterday, but Meredith with a change direction to shake off Steffi Oliver-Smith.
Yeah, she did apologise as she gave her a cuddle on the way through.
Well, the noise level has risen in this arena today.
What a great up by Steffi Stutt.
And Fury really moving the ball around. Lucy Leonard.
She put her body across that, didn't she? It was really smart play, drew the contact from Scarborough because Scarborough had the closing speed on the ball.
Lucy Leonard, an experienced Loughborough player. A lot of these Northwest Fury girls, part of the Island Games squad for Anglesey. First time Anglesey competed in the Island Games. They're very proud to be able to be part of that squad.
They did a good job.
Oh, and Brooke Collette again. The height she gets on those jumps. She might not be the tallest in there, but she can jump, Brooke Collette.
Yeah, you have to change direction on Brooke Collette because her closing speed is phenomenal. You don't want to get in a running race with her.
She takes feet to ball, doesn't she, Brooke Collette? She doesn't stop to jump. She runs through her jump, which is really effective.
The outlet ball to Gwennon Williams proving quite deadly.
And Stutt.
Great stretch. Oh,
makes
what a
the
rebound.
impact for Oliver-Smith to gather that rebound. And again, the defensive work from Southeast Blaze. They are jumping with arms over every ball. Spacey and Collette working effortlessly together.
Yeah, and that was good from Reese to pick that up as well because it's not easy to get a ball from Williams. Nice reset and good switch of positions there between Baker and Scarborough. The fake.
And Stutt will collect that rebound. Fury now. Oh, Leonard saw Oliver-Smith, but just out of reach for her.
I think she was off balance a little bit as well, so she saw it. She couldn't change her mind. She had to give that ball. Really need to keep 2 feet on the floor and stay nice and composed. Lovely ball from Spacey.
Saw Scarborough's run to circle edge, but Charlotte Lewis has pulled for contact on Stutt.
Stutt did a really good job yesterday getting a couple of those calls. She stands her ground. She stands straight in her body position. And it's
very effective defender, but there is Spacey again. Speaking of effective defenders, times her jumps wonderfully to tip those balls. And again, Brooke Collette. Well, Southeast Blaze are all over these balls. It's a game of turnovers this morning.
Wow.
Timings of these jumps for these tips. Meredith says no more.
I mean, you don't want to take that away from the defence, but that is literally a moment to clip as to why the first ball you should give over a turnover should be just a near side small offload.
It should be clinical and thought about. Control required now. Williams, 2v1 again.
And again, she made that look good because it wasn't the most accurate of passes.
She tipped it to herself. And here goes Fury again. Williams is shouting for the ball. But Barwick will have a lovely pop into the space Williams created for herself. And Collette will keep jumping for those balls against Williams because in the air it will be a great battle. But there is the buzzer for the first quarter. What a fast first quarter that was. We didn't even realise the clock was running down.
No, I know, and it swung from both sides, isn't it? Southeast Blaze took the lead by 2, and then Northwest Fury came back by 2 and took the lead themselves by 2. I really, I know we always say it could go either way, but genuinely, this is just going to be who can keep their focus, who can put their foot down and take that lead and then push on.
Absolutely. Well, the end of the first quarter for these two feisty teams this morning. 9 goals to Fury, 7 goals to Blaze. It's all about composure now for the second quarter, isn't it, Nat? It's about who, like you said, can keep control, because it did get very feisty in the middle of that first quarter. There was about 6 tips in a row.
Yeah, and just being being clinical on your possession, isn't it? Because once you've won it, it's almost like the adrenaline for both of the sides so far is pumping so much. They just want to get the ball down as quickly as possible. And we've seen that in a couple of errors, like we had someone on 1 foot off balance, launching a ball over 3 channels. Like, they're the small errors that if they cut out, will make them the winning side.
Definitely agree. Well, we have seen so many balls being flown into Williams, flown into Barwick, flown into Lewis, into Meredith, but we do know that the calibre of these shooters, they are able to put the ball up from anywhere on the court. But we have to give credit to the defensive sides on both teams. Steffi Sturt and Oliver Smith, they are putting bodies on the line, as well as we've seen Colette and Reese really taking balls from anywhere. So at the moment, it's anyone's game.
Yeah, I think Colette's smart in the in the fact that she's running on balls early, and I think that's a really good strategy of Southeast Blaze at the moment. They have to turn ball early because, let's face it, Gwennon Williams is getting ball 2-on-1, and the reason being is because that connection between her and a midcourt is on point. Her elevation, her ability to hold the ball, even on the greatest of extensions, is really good. So they have to keep them up. They have to keep pressuring the ball early. And if they can do that, then they don't necessarily have to worry about Gwennon Williams.
Absolutely. Well, we have seen a lot of ball movements and opening up the court from the mid-court from Fury. We didn't see as much of it yesterday. They were played quite narrow yesterday, but obviously you had a chat with Shimon Gould yesterday, who was up here talking through a couple of games with you. But would you have expected her to have told her team to open up that play against, maybe after watching Southeast Blaze yesterday?
Yeah, possibly. I think their whole game is it's just getting better and better, isn't it? It's tweaked a bit more. Even just stuff like, we know, for instance, that Barwick can shoot from anywhere, but actually then when she had the ball, she just offloaded it because Gwennon Williams was closer. And the same for Williams. She's been close, but not as close as Barwick, and she's just turned and looked to shoot and popped off the short pass. So it's just smart play. Very
clever netball coming on court this morning. So as the two teams get back onto the court for this second quarter, 2 goals deficit, and Lucy Leonard will take that. We'll give the ball to Charlotte Scarborough to take the first centre pass.
Just very nice of her.
Lovely sportsmanship. No changes that we can see on the court for either team. Both coaches happy with their starting 7s.
Charlotte Lewis just needs to hold that a bit longer. She just yielded a bit of space there. She draws the contact, so it doesn't matter. Still gets the goal, but she just needs to be a bit careful because Stud is not an easy defender.
She is on the body, athletic, difficult to play against. And there is that top tip again from Blaze. They get arms over ball, don't they? Very effectively.
They did, and what they fell trapped to Northwest Fury is that you had your goal attack, your wing attack and your centre all in the same line down the court. Then they were all very flat. It just allows the defence to run through. So just need to make sure they've got some width and depth. That was a lovely sweep from Barwick.
And she puts the ball in the net for that one. Blaze. Baker finding space, resets to Spacey. Baker using her body to protect that ball.
Yeah, lovely offload.
Oh, and Steffi Stud used her inside arms, came through there. Maybe outside arm would have given her a bit of a cleaner tip.
Absolutely right.
And Lewis brings it back to 1 goal deficit.
It's a good decision to go backwards. Just need the wing attack to get ahead of the game. Oh, how did she land that in the court?
Lucy Leonard must have been on the line. And Williams, out of nowhere, picking up that ball that bounced off the post.
It was a little bit frantic, that attacking play there from Northwest Fury.
Just need someone to take control of the game.
Yeah.
Baker prepared her run early. Discipline is a big thing for Fury now, I believe. They are being picked up quite a bit, aren't they, for contact and obstruction, almost just gifting the ball to South East Blaze.
Yeah, and the problem with doing that against a player like Rebecca Baker is she's smart. So we've seen players throughout this competition have a free pass, and in the wing attack, for instance, and they'll go and sit themselves like slightly off circle edge. Rebecca Baker takes herself to circle edge, but in the meantime, another amazing turnover from Scarborough, who has arms for days.
They must be feeding their kids something different in the southeast of Wales, because all of these girls will tip balls with those long arms. And Blaze really needed that turnover. It was the one to bring them back to a draw, especially now with their centre pass. Really working hard to put that ball in, and Lewis changing her body angle.
Yeah, I think that was the placement from Meredith opening her up. It was absolutely superb. And it swung again.
And Charlotte Scarborough again with that turnover, centre to centre turnover. She is reading it well.
It was almost the same thing. And they need to learn, don't they? Northwest Fury.
And a punishment for Fury. Collette bringing that ball up the court. Lucy Leonard attempting to turn the ball over, take the free ball.
It's a great battle between Rebecca Baker and Lillian Toadson down wing attack, wing defence.
Both players really putting their body on the line for that ball. Baker protecting space well, using her body to do that, but Dewson really trying to get around her, isn't she?
Yeah.
And South East Blaze can't quite capitalise on that one.
Oh.
But there was Baker. She was inches away from that ball. Brooke Collette in the air and wins the ball.
So Northwest Fury just need to tweak their release points. They're all passing from their hips. And because it's a rising chest pass, it's easier for Blaze to tip that ball.
Well, if there is a prize for number of tips in the competition, Blaze would be definitely winning this one. Just in this quarter, they've had, I would say, about 6 already, and we are 6 minutes into the quarter.
It's not bad stats, is it?
And Charlotte Lewis takes that to 14-11. South East Blaze now on a bit of a roll in this second quarter.
I was just about to say that was a critical centre pass, and it's just the small errors, isn't it? Passing into arms, breaking. Northwest Fury need to sort out their discipline, and they need to do it fast.
We did mention at quarter time that composure was something that was really important now in the second quarter, and South East Blaze have found theirs. And Stutt again.
Yeah, keeping them in this game at the back, isn't she? Just with turnover central.
Important passage of play now for Northwest Fury.
You can't underestimate the pressure from Spacey at the back. You watch her tracking the wing attack. She is just keeping her out of the game.
Spacey is well and truly taking McEwen out of the game and making it extremely difficult to get hands on ball.
And again, Brooke Collette disrupting the play, just getting an arm in.
There is McEwen. Williams finally gets her hands on the ball and without problem puts it in the net. Collette easily picks that ball up, doesn't she, on the centre third from the centre pass. Barwick needing to be a bit tighter on that ball.
It's just so hard, isn't it? Because it's again, that's a running race with Brooke Collette, and I don't think there'd be many people that could win that running race against her.
I know I definitely couldn't. But there is that battle again between Baker and Doodson. And wonderful space by Williams, wonderful vision by McEwen to see that ball to be put in. Important turnover for Fury, but an important turnover again then from Blaze. Breaking call for McEwen.
Yeah, I mean, you'd be really furious as a coach now with 2 break-ins. Just come off the line.
Don't try and beat the whistle.
Steffi Studd again.
She is a force to be reckoned with in that circle. Reads the game well, put enough pressure on Charlotte Lewis, confusing the space for Meredith. And Gwennon Williams again with that space over Katie Rees.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get it down into that third, you're pretty much guaranteed that you can get the ball to Williams.
The way she protects her space with her body and barely moves. Steffi Studd, she was on the floor and she got up for the turnover.
Never complain if your coach makes you just burpees. Look what you can do with them. Down and up.
Just watch that and it's all worth it. Doodson given a caution by Rhiannon Reynolds for the contact on Baker. Obstruction called on Oliver Smith. And Lewis takes the score up to 15-14. Well, what a game this is shaping up to be. Fury really pulled that one back. And a last-ditch effort attempt to try and get the ball to Williams, but they had enough time on the clock now. There was about 50 seconds on there.
Oh, loads of time. And like these are just the small errors that Northwest Fury keep making. I mean, they're doing well to still be in the game. And it's because of the defensive unit, if I'm honest, in my opinion, at the back that's keeping them in this.
Steffi Studd changing her body angle so well around Lewis on that swing over to Baker. 20 seconds now on the clock. Plenty of time. And they'll recycle again. And there is the pressure again from Studd. Yeah. And Oliver Smith will pick up that ball. They have 7 seconds. And Barwick lets the ball go into the crowd. And everyone else on the squad knew it. But they will take it in to half-time of the 15-14 scoreline. Well, what a quarter that was. Fury trailing by 5 goals at one point.
Yeah, I mean, it was mainly their own errors. Well, I say their own errors. Blaze put themselves in good positions to make those errors. You know, the pressure on the line was intense from Spacey and Collette on that front for the first phase, which is encouraging the break-in, so they're kind of helping create it. And then the arms of Scarborough twice, and then the arms of Collette as well. Katie Rees coming out with that last ball against Gwennon Williams, you know, that's not easy, as we've seen. So they are creating the pressure, but Northwest Fury are almost playing to it. They're just rushing through the court. They just need to take the pace off and have a think.
Like we did mention a couple of times, someone needs to take control of this game and keep their composure and balance. Well, in that quarter, South East Blaze really did come back and put 8 goals on the board compared to Northwest Fury's 5. So a comfortable win in that quarter for them. But Fury, like we said, don't give up easy, don't they? And we, like you said multiple times, that defensive unit of Stutt and Oliver Smith, how difficult it is to get around that.
Yeah, I do believe they kept Fury in the game then, because I mean, it is very hard in there for Lewis and Meredith. And to be fair, when the ball lands with Meredith in that shooting position, she doesn't miss. So you can't allow it to land. And what they're doing really well between Oliver Smith and Studd is their feet are off. They're constantly moving. They're confusing the space. And they're not making it clear where that ball needs to go.
Absolutely. And that's what you need from your feeders, isn't it? Because if your feeders decide that the feed is not on and they can't see the space and can't see the positioning from your shooters, you reset and you go again and you recycle. And we are seeing that from Charlotte Scarborough, and we are seeing that as well from Beck Baker, but do we need more of that resetting, or is there forcing coming in from Blaze?
I think maybe some smart circle play, so maybe setting up some screens, some overloads, some triangles, just some really basic stuff right at the front end. Because in fairness, Rebecca Baker and Charlotte Scarborough, both smart players. Becca Baker has put in some stunning passes, like that's cut through defenders, so she's got the vision and she can see it. But it really is a case of just being a bit more creative, I think, in the circle to capitalise against these defence. But don't get me wrong, Studd and Oliver Smith, it's not just the fact that their feet are off, it's the fact that you're not sure that they could get there. It looks open. It's really their movement and the speed of their movement is actually what's killing it. I would expect now as they go back on, they won't get as many turnover because it'll just be a chance now for Rebecca Baker and for Charlotte Scarborough to go, okay, let's have a think. We need to make sure it's really clear before we put that ball in now, because they are deceptive and they are getting stuff that we don't think they should get to. So it's come at a good time, I think, for them in that respect. But also for Northwest Fury, the half-time break has come at a good time for them so that they can just have a think about slowing down this ball through court and not firing at 100 miles an hour. Well,
coaches Safira Fisher and Simone Gould will definitely be having those words with Fury to try and calm that pace of play down. Lucy Leonard in the middle is very much a catalyst, trying to move the ball through court, is working extremely hard, isn't she, to get up and down the court. She's doing court sprints of her own at the moment to try and move that ball. Like we've mentioned, the battle between Dudson and Baker, they're taking each other out. Spacey is trying to take McEwen out, so obviously Leonard is working doubly hard.
Yeah, and you know what? I think you can't underestimate the impact that Eloise Spacey is having. I think sometimes we talk about, when you do, who would you drop in your group? You've got a group of 6. Who are we going to drop? Because we can't play everyone. And let's drop the wing defence. Spacey is the prime reason now that you would never drop a wing defence, because she is absolutely taking, like you say, Lucy McEwen out of the game. And it is having such an impact. That is one of the major causes of this problem coming through. And it's all because of Eloise Spacey's work.
And she's working so hard off ball. She's tracking hard. She's like you said, she's taking her out of the game. And almost Fury are now playing with 6.
Yeah, and when you look at a team that's getting lots of turnover, quite often you have to look for the players that aren't getting the turnover because they're the ones creating it. So it's almost a thankless task if you're a really good wing defence like Eloise Spacey, because she's creating opportunities for the defence of the back to turn ball.
Well, let's see if this will continue for South East Blaze. Just scanning the court now to see for any changes. Don't believe we have any coming in for South East Blaze. And no changes either for Northwest Fury. So coaches on both sides very happy with how things are going, as they should be with the scoreline as it is.
Yeah, it would be a brave decision to make a change now. The third quarter is absolutely crucial, isn't it? I mean, every quarter is crucial, but you definitely don't want to be the team that ends up going into the 4th down, because then you're only ever playing catch-up with a time frame.
Absolutely. Well, there is Scarborough deep in pocket, and Studd again coming around Lewis.
Just need to maybe put a bit of disguise on the ball, put a fake in, draw Studd, and then open it up.
Well, Meredith is a long shooter, but not quite that long. So a lovely pop to Charlotte Lewis. Fury now. McEwen couldn't quite get hands on the ball, but Barwick was there.
Good decision.
Spacey again taking out McEwen's run.
Yeah, and like you say, that ends up with Lucy Leonard then having to send the reset, then getting the ball still in sort of the mid-court and having to just send it straight in.
Williams, 3rd attempt. In it goes. Becca Baker battling through 2 defensive players.
It was a good second phase there from Lewis to come out.
And Charlotte Lewis draws contact from Oliver Smith to keep this game neck and neck. Barwick first phase. McEwen escapes Spacey to manage to get her hands on that ball.
It was a nice centre pass set up to allow McEwen to come through second phase ball side.
Scarborough just steps offside. South East players are really putting everything into every ball, aren't they? They are putting arms up. They are trying to get onto tips. They're jumping offside. They are trying to get on the end of every ball and putting every effort into ball.
Yeah, and that's, you know, because the release, if it goes in towards that lady at the back, chances are she's going to get it. But Brooke Collette, everything on that rebound.
And McEwen's turn now to try and take out Spacey, but there she goes, spreading the play, opening up the court, and Baker finding pocket. Ooh. What a lovely move it was from Meredith, but Stutt got her hand to it.
Again. I think we just need to have the word again after everything that we say when we talk about Stutt.
Just Stutt all over the court. Smith causing that pressure for Baker.
Yeah, Baker would have been better on the reset there. Scarborough was already stuck in the pocket.
Doodson did well against Baker there. Defensively bringing the ball up. And Brooke Collette again. Same word for her again. Williams.
Barwick just needs to change her release point. She releases everything from her hips.
Baker, clever play to get herself to top of the circle. Again, great contest between Doodson and Baker, but a lovely little bounce pass into Lewis.
Oh, and Stutt gets hand to it.
Who was there? Steffi Stutt. Wonderful work by the defensive unit of Smith and Stutt. But Meredith has had enough and will put the ball up.
It's a good job that girl can shoot.
Lovely action from Abigail Meredith. And a wonderful second phase from Lucy Leonard, straight on to circle edge.
And it was a better release as well from Barwick.
Fury attempting to be very man-on-man defending here.
Oh, good work from Lewis. She did well to come out the top, allowed herself to enter back in.
And Steffi Stutt laughing at herself for how heavy she fell then. But always gets back up. Leonard. What space, what vision.
But
great
again,
ball.
Again, like you said, Leonard took every other ball then. She's having to do an awful lot of work. It's a good job she's got good fitness.
Contact call for Doodson. Baker causing real problems for the wing defence.
Oh. Stunning shot.
McEwen finding Williams again in great space, holding her own. Caution for Katie Rees. That initial shot from Barwick did not count, but the second one did. Oh, Charlotte Scarborough.
With one hand.
One-handed. Scoops the ball. And Oliver Smith.
Yeah, she was obviously a bit tired of Stutt getting all the comments, so.
And Eloise Spacey again.
Yeah.
Outside arm, wonderful work. And Katie Rees.
A nice little switch between Rees and Collette.
Baker working hard, trying to get to circle edge. But Stutt just nudged Lewis in the air slightly.
Lewis did well there. That ball should have gone first time, really, from Scarborough. But Lewis did well to hold that space and go straight up.
Well, 21 plays 19 here. South East Blaze in the lead by 2. Leonard trying to find Williams. Williams did not want that ball, but McEwen was there to collect. And what balance by Gwen Williams. The ball just landed on her hand. Time is called for Leonard. She must be extremely tired after all that work. And Bethan Phillips, another experienced. She's not that tired.
I was just about to say, oh my goodness, I would not take her off the court.
Bethan Phillips, a Swansea University player, very experienced, on to centre court. And Lucy Leonard has moved into wing attack.
I mean, Lucy Leonard's been doing most of the feeding, so I don't think that's a bad shout. I think that's a good coaching call.
So Lucy McEwen takes to the bench. Eloise Spacey has clearly done her job.
I do believe that might be Lily Dodson's second caution.
Second caution for Lily Dodson. Potential miscommunication between the umpires.
I could well have got that wrong, though.
I think you are right. She did receive a caution from Rihanna Reynolds in the second quarter.
Lovely
little pop. To Williams from Barwick.
Still goal for goal, isn't it?
It's a wonderful match this morning, isn't it? 1 goal in it. But Blaze, and that's the turnover that they needed. Dodson came off the body.
That's how you respond to a caution.
This is what I can do. Barwick. Silence in the House of Sport while she puts that ball up and takes it back to 22 all.
A great
with
shot.
A Fury centre pass. A very important centre pass for Fury, and Williams had the space, but Katie Reese was having none of it and does take the interception. Both of them running into the barrier at the side of the court.
Oh,
Rebecca
smart.
Baker, very smart play.
That's why you keep your head up through the court.
Again, control required now from both teams. It's getting a little bit feisty and messy out there. Well, what an answer to that turnover it was from South East Blaze, coming straight back into it.
Oh, what a ball.
Meredith under the post. Scarborough, great vision.
I mean, that's a real game changer in the last seconds to send that in, because now it's also like 2 goals up rather than 1 goal up, and it would have been the opposite centre pass if they'd have lost that. So great job. Great
decision making there from Charlotte Scarborough, and great run from Abigail Meredith to find herself underneath the post on the back line. So at the end of the third quarter, 24 goals for South East Blaze, 22 for Fury. Well, this game just keeps giving and giving. We cannot stop saying the same names over and over from all 7 people on the court.
Yeah, just absolutely phenomenal. And I think that Oliver Smith came into her own as well there. She sort of made a point to claim that she should be spoken about as well. And it's a 1 goal game that quarter again,
and consistency from South East Blaze again, put in 11 points on the board in that one. 9 points on the board from South East Blaze. 24 goals scored. Northwest Fury settled a lot better in that quarter, going from 14 to 22, so 8 goals on the board for them. Williams didn't quite get her hands on the ball as much in that first bit of the quarter. They started the quarter, they were a bit slower, but then did find themselves in more of the run of the game.
Yeah, and I think it was a smart change to move Lucy Leonard to wing attack. We'll see how it pays off, because it was more towards the end of that quarter, but she's doing most of the feeding. I just wonder whether it's not ideal for your centre to be taking every other ball, but I wonder whether they just needed to stick with that and just almost run her into the ground. But again, they've got another game coming up, haven't they? So they have to think about a couple of things, not just one.
Absolutely, and we have seen Bethan Phillips in that centre position yesterday, and we know what she can bring to the team. She is very clinical in her decision making as well. So if we can have that combination of both Phillips and Lucy Leonard in that middle of the court, then obviously we can see extra lovely combinational work and play from Fury.
I also think Phillips is really good defensively, so it could also be a smart move to put her there to turn a bit more ball. I think she turns ball as well as centre. She's more of a centre wing defence in my opinion. I don't know whether that's the
She does play wing defence as well, you are right.
There you go. So I think that's smart because they do need to turn ball now. They're only 2 goals behind, but they are still behind.
They are, but changes are coming onto the court for South East Blaze. Like you said, changes are from coaches. They know their team, but they've put some changes on the court. Nia Fishlock comes on to goalkeeper, and Victoria Nuttall comes on to wing attack. So Rebecca Baker has taken to the bench. So has Katie Rees.
I mean, it's an interesting change to make, but at the same point in time, I think Rebecca Baker was getting a little bit frustrated. She was ground down well by Lily Dudson, so it might be just to put some fresh legs against Dudson, give us something else to think about. And in terms of defensively against Gwennon Williams, I mean, I am surprised because I thought Katie Rees was getting the hang of her. But you know what? This could work for them as well.
Absolutely. Well, no changes for Northwest Fury as Bethan Phillips stays in that centre court position and Lucy Leonard is in that wing attack position. Ellen Barwick will wait for that pop. Drew Brooke collecting. Lovely, didn't she, with that fake shooting action?
Yeah, that was and she was dancing with the 3 seconds, but it paid off.
Victoria Nuttall gets her hands on the ball. Nia Fishlock in that goalkeeper position now against Williams. We know she is very good at her elevation.
I think as well what you've got from Nuttall in at wing attack is you've got a bit more height.
What a turnover again from Oliver Smith and Stutt. Phillips racing to circle edge and finding Williams. Important turnover here for Northwest Fury. A full team turnover.
Absolutely, and really good play. And you know what? Fair play to Phillips. She was absolutely instrumental in bringing that ball down. She had to angle her body to get on the end of that pass as well, and she did it well.
And Williams again holding front space this time, not scared of changing her body angles. The score now has switched sides once again. Fury now up by 1, we're down by 2. And we bring it back to a draw for South East Blaze. Phillips, fresh legs on the court.
And found in acres of space in the middle.
All 3 defenders drawn to McEwen, to Leonard and Barwick. Dudson needs to be careful here, knows she's on 2 cautions. And as we said it, a warning given by Rhiannon Reynolds. But Steffi Stutt, again, causing trouble.
It'll be interesting now to see what Northwest Fury bench does. I think maybe with the change of wing attack, it might be worth changing Dodson and bringing someone else on.
Maybe a wing defence change.
No one's moving though, are they?
There's no movement, like you said, on the bench.
Definitely don't want to be in a situation where you're playing with 6.
Not in this type of game where Charlotte Scarborough will take those arms. Turnover ball, and she tells her team to settle and calm down.
And Scarborough has done that on more than one occasion.
And Bethan Phillips shows them what she's made of and shows she can do it too.
Yeah, great.
And there's that combination of McEwen, of Leonard and Phillips.
That was great defence by Phillips.
And Fury now 2 up. 27 plays 25, and it's their centre pass.
Spacey doing all she can.
Spacey now with a different challenge of Lucy Leonard. And Southeast Blaze were calling for that replay ball call, weren't they? But not quite controlled. First ball from Barwick.
I think the umpire was spot on, to be fair.
Joe Williams, the umpire, was definitely on right for that call. Ball falls again for Williams.
I don't know how she gets to it. There was 2 defenders there as well, and she just steps through both of them.
I think it's those long legs of hers.
Lovely offload, great depth.
Stutt knows that she was falling into Lewis on that one.
That was a stunning centre pass from Blaze. Really nice.
And Brooke Collette, in the time where Southeast Blaze needed her the most, she comes through. You'd swear there was seconds left on the clock, wouldn't you? But we're only halfway through. Collette jumps for joy, knowing that she was the one that created that turnover for her team.
And that's how you respond to run of 3, isn't it? Go for your own run of 3.
Again, we're back to a 1-goal deficit here. This whole game has been goal for goal, and we've seen this throughout the tournament so far, but never up to the 4th quarter point, have we?
Yeah, I mean, this is an amazing game, and it's being won as well, which is the best thing. It's not being gifted.
Bethan Phillips pulled for offside. Still no change coming for that Lily Dudeston wing defensive position.
Stutt just needed to go up then rather than across.
And Charlotte Lewis takes it back to 28 apiece. And Charlotte Scarborough, but what clever play from Lucy Leonard, just ran across the body, knowing the ball was theirs after it left the court.
Yeah. I mean, how many times are they going to pass into Scarborough's arms before they realise how long they are?
Footwork call. Absolutely the correct call from Rhiannon Reynolds.
Yeah, much to the disappointment of the supporters of Southeast Blaze, but agreed, she was spot on.
And Spacey again tipping that ball. Fury now need to be composed. And Nia Fishlock's just giving Williams a little bit of a shove.
Oh,
Charlotte
seriously?
Scarborough.
How many times are they going to pass into Charlotte Scarborough's arms?
They clearly know by now that she can jump and time her jump for that ball. But they've given them so many balls just by giving it to Charlotte Scarborough.
I mean, you make your own luck in some respects. She's got to be in the right place, but goodness me.
And now Steffi Stutt receives a caution for persistent contact. Well, what a game this is. We have 3 minutes left on the clock.
We need a big turnover.
Blaze are in front by 1. You cannot call this. And if we did, we'll probably be wrong.
It's going to require just smart possession play now.
The battle between Phillips and Scarborough running for that ball.
They've still got to go for goal, but they just have to play it smart, play it short, take the defence out of the situation. And Northwest Fury need to stay really clean.
Great take by Lewis. And the crowd very vocal here today. Breaking for Lucy Leonard.
This has mirrors of the second quarter.
Well, Fury have a lot of work to do now. They have time.
You get the feeling that if Blaze secure this one, they've done enough.
Oh, well, the defensive setup of Oliver Smith and Stutt there did enough to keep out Lewis. Oh, and Stutt just couldn't quite get on the end of that ball, but they did get the rebound.
They've got 2 minutes. They need to look after this through court. Oh.
Well, that was a scary ball for Oliver Smith, like you said. Nice short passes. Nothing too strenuous like that one to Williams. which Fishlock collects.
I tell you what, though, any given day you would back Williams to have caught that one. Just went through her hands.
Sod's law, isn't it? At the exact moment that they require her to take that ball in, but they will keep working hard on the defensive level.
And Blaze just so smart, just run that ball round.
Stutt again is there after Oliver Smith's first tip. A minute on the clock, and there is that one from Meredith, hoping that it is enough to secure this game for them. 31 now plays 28. And as the clock runs down, will they play possession? Play the ball around?
I mean,
Brooke Collette seems to be doing so. Shouts from the crowd to play the ball. But Lewis fancies another go.
Yeah, job done. Well done, South East Blaze. They kept their heads. They kept their smarts. Charlotte Scarborough.
Eloise Spacey again. The arms of this South East Blaze team.
Yeah, wing defence centre duo there in terms of the defensive pressure is just really nullified this attack, hasn't it?
And now Fury are really hanging on to that ball to Williams, and they will get that final goal as the clock reaches the end. South East Blaze really fought hard for that win, but Fury, credit to them, they were absolutely outstanding in that game versus South East Blaze. The final score at the buzzer, 32-29. Well, what a game that was. Goal for goal, the lead switching between both teams. Performances of incredible calibre from both teams.
Yeah, and I think Northwest Fury will be really disappointed in that result because they came so close and they did so much amazing stuff, and it came down to just those couple of errors. I mean, you could not fault the defensive efforts of Oliver Smith and Stutt at the back, but just too many balls into the arms of Scarborough and Eloise Spacey just getting hands to stuff, just too much pressure. And Brooke Collette, you know, that back three, just too hard.
Well, South East Blaze have really showed what they can do in that game versus Fury, but Fury should be absolutely proud of their performance there. Just little errors to work on for their next match of the day. Speaking of next matches, the next one here that we will be joining you with is Valleys Volcanoes versus Power Sparks. So just before 11, join us for that one for Valley Volcanoes to try and bring themselves up and continue their winning streak. So we'll see you then.